Hey, hello, Tristan and Alyssa. Thank you for emailing me earlier yesterday on what you needed to know and how to help Tristan be successful in going about this remote learning setting. And I know your situation is very unique, and I want to make sure that Tristan is the most successful in the most possible way that he can be. So, in saying that, I'm going to walk you and Tristan through our Google Classroom and kind of how it's set up. So it's a little bit different. I'm on my computer. I don't have so he has Google Classroom on his iPad, and that he knows how to use and kind of knows how to navigate. But it's a little bit different in how it's set up in the remote setting. And these things were explained in the first couple of remote days, and I think those are the ones that he missed, and he might be struggling to grasp what our Google Classroom looks like in terms of this remote setting. So what I really want to do here is to kind of walk him through what's going on. So when he so this part on the top here will be actually on the bottom of his screen. So on his iPad it will be more towards the bottom. So their first part is called the stream. So when Google Classroom first comes up, it's a stream. So the stream is like announcements that I'll make and things like that. So a lot of the times on here, I'll tell students to hop on Zoom with me. I'll give you say, hey, like yesterday, I said, hope you are enjoying your last minutes of lunch. Join me in 8 minutes for Zoom with Mr. Harris. All of these things that I post. There's some other teachers that post some things on here too, on our Google Classroom, but this is just our Google Classroom. So what this is, like the stream part of it, which is our first section, the first part of this Google Classroom is just announcements that I give that'll give out, and these are all notifications that I go directly to his iPad. So notifications will be right on his screen when he opens his iPad. So if he gets a lot of notifications from Google Classroom, make sure he clicks on them so he knows exactly what's going on. These are so I sometimes I tell certain students to hop on to get on the Zoom with me. So a lot of the times I just do everyone, like to give them a little notification, like, hey, make sure you hop on in 5 minutes. So it's like a little like text message to them on their iPad. So if I go all the way back up, so that's the stream that just gives you announcements for the day. And then the most important one is the classwork section. So remember, this part will be on the bottom for Tristan. These things. So he'll click on classwork towards the bottom, would be over here. So our first thing is our remote schedule is on Google Classroom. So when he opens that up, it'll open up to this. And so this is what our schedule is like throughout the day. And I know Tristan might not be able to make all of these things, um, make all of these things on our in our schedule because of the unique schedule that you guys have. So just to kind of run through what this is like, just so when I'm on Zoom, um, so he might be able to jump on with us during those times. So here he has Spanish. So today is Tuesday. So he'll have Spanish in the morning, and then our morning Zoom starts at 9:40 to 9:10. And then during Win, he is actually supposed to be meeting with Mrs. Smith at 10 o'clock. If he's able to do that, that would be awesome win time for him with Mrs. Smith. I'll show you where to get that. And then reading Zoom is at 10:30. So, and then they have some reading time that they're able to do some independent work from like 11 to 12. So Zoom for everyone's at 11 or at 10:30 here. If he's able to make that, and then we have lunch. I gladly be able to be during lunchtime with Tristan as well to kind of go over what he needs to do for the day. Afternoon Zoom's always from 1 to 1:15, and also so we all stay on Zoom to do math. We stay on to do math until about like 1:45, 1:30. We go over a couple workbook pages and things like that. We do our work there. So that's what this is. So I'm on Zoom pretty much from 1 to 1:45, and then anytime from 1:45 on till 3:30, I'm pretty much available for Tristan to hop on and ask any questions or anything like that. So he can always hop on Zoom to ask me a question at any time because I'm literally on all day long. So where he could do that at is like always. So today is Tuesday, so the Tuesday one is pulled up towards the top. So I reorganize them each day to make sure that the students it's easy to access for the students. So these things on the sign, don't really worry about those. Those just jump you to each thing, and I don't care about those on the side thing. So just have them scroll down. So Tuesday is the day that we're on. Zoom with Mr. Hare is this link here that he'll click on. It'll more look like this to him. He'll click this link that's here. That'll hop on. That'll put him on Zoom with me at any point during the school day that I'm able to meet with him. So I'm always on all day long. So kids hop on and hop off if they have questions. If sometimes I'll send them a stream message. I'll send them like a little text message like, "Hey, meet me on Zoom. I want you to help. I want to have you correct some of this work." So that's kind of what that is. Um, Always click on this link to get to the Zoom with me. So same thing with Spanish. It always goes in order on what the things are going on for the day. So like here, Mrs. Smith's win group. This is actually for Tristan for today if he's able to meet on that. So Mrs. Smith will meet via Zoom here. And then the main bulk of our things that we have, and it's laid out pretty simply on our Google Classroom here, is this reading, math, writing, and word work. There's assignments for each thing, so we've got to turn in things for reading, math, writing, and word work every single day. Um, to be able to stay on topic. So like for today, if I go to kind of what it will look like for him, it'll kind of look like this, and there'll be links for him. It won't look like boxy like this, but there'll be links with the names, who's on first, character traits, ball hawk. So like here, it'll give instructions. So this is a big thing that we didn't do in school because I was able to give them the instructions via person. So what Tristan really needs to focus on, something that's new in Google Classroom that he might not be familiar with, is the instructions. So I want to make sure that he reads the instructions and do them in order for him to be able to be successful. So sometimes he does that, but then like I'll have it like there'll be a video in here. In reading, there isn't a video, but if I go back to Tuesday, this Tuesday section, and so here, and so there's always a writing and a word work video that I have. Um, So it says, do these watch Mr. Harrod's lesson video. So make sure he watches the lesson videos that go along with it when he is doing it. So like reading and word work always have a lesson video, but for math and reading, they're always live Zoom lessons that I do. So I teach them live, and then I go through our schedule with him and what to do here. So when I meet individually with Tristan, I can get him caught up on what to do for reading and what to do for math, and teach him a couple of little things here and there during that time, which would be awesome. And then for writing, he can literally do these things on his own when he has internet throughout the day. So because he can just watch the video and do it, and then make sure he reads the instructions. That's the most important part. That'll even not just Tristan, but a lot of kids in our class have struggled with this because they didn't have to read the instructions because there were none, because I was able to tell them in person when we did things on Google Classroom. So make sure he reads the instructions. Maybe if you're with him at the time, that you can help him read the instructions and make sure he knows exactly what to do. Because sometimes Tristan needs a couple of more reminders to stay on track and to stay participating on the correct thing. Because sometimes he'll just jump to number two because he sees that one. He's like, oh, this is the first attachment. But really, the first thing here is writing lesson Tuesday, because that's what it says in number one. So, so yeah. So same thing with writing. Math, it tells you exactly. There's instructions for math. So that's the big thing, is reading the instructions on what to do first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So when he clicks on them, it doesn't pull down like that. It actually opens up a new screen for him. It opens up here. So he doesn't have instructions in student work because this is like the teacher platform part, but it opens up and it gives him the instructions on what to do. So he can literally do word work and writing at any point, because those aren't live lessons. They're pre-recorded lessons for him, and then to do the activities in there. So like he'll see soft C sounds like phonics as his first attachment on there, on his first attachment, but I don't want him to do that one first. I want him to listen to my word work lesson first, because that's what it says in number one. So that's where it might be a little bit tricky to navigate him for him. So that's kind of the rundown for what our Google Classroom looks like and how it functions. If he ever misses something, it's always the next day. So like yesterday's was the section below. So these are all the things that he missed yesterday. And I can get him caught up with those things too if he's able to hop on Zoom with me. So um, my suggestion is to come up with a couple of times throughout the day where I can meet with him, um, and then be able to work from there. So yeah, so this is like our little navigation of what Google Classroom is. He'll always have the remote schedule up here, and knowing when to be on, and knowing when I am on, when everyone's whole class Zoom is on. I So for these whole class Zooms, some students struggle with telling time, and I literally send them a text message like, "Hey, meet me on Zoom." Say it's 10:25. I have, "Hey, meet me on Zoom in 5 minutes," and so everyone knows. They get this little text message that comes up on the top, even when they're working. it comes up at the top of their iPad. It says, "Oh, okay, I got 5 minutes left. I'm going to meet Mr. Harrod in 5 minutes." So that's kind of what it goes. And when I send him a little text message, so if he gets a bunch of notifications from Google Classroom on his iPad, that's me communicating to him what he needs to be able to get on. But I understand not having the internet and not getting those notifications too if you don't have the internet. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of the rundown of our Google Classroom. I hope that helps you understand um, kind of what this is. I would love for Tristan and to you to kind of walk through this together if you're able to. Um, so if you are watching this on your own, Alyssa, if you could walk through this with Tristan too, to kind of explain this to him, because doing it on Zoom, him watching the screen isn't sometimes super effective for him. So maybe watching this video maybe once or twice would be awesome. So that this is all for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for understanding our Google Classroom and trying to make Tristan as most successful as possible in this remote setting. So I appreciate your help and understanding. Thank you.